Oh, absolutely. Because I don't know, I love talking to fellas like you because I don't know. I feel like in this time of division in our country, the one thing people can always kind of revert back to, even if they're still arguing, is pop culture, is
Yeah.
movies, is the American art form, right?
Well, it starts a whole different level of argument and division.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But all that's good humored. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. Who was the worst Batman? Clearly that was, Adam West.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. No one wants to go there. No one ever wants to go there. But like, come
Dude,
on, the man had shark spray, and he knew that he danced the Batusi.
I know. I had a little party when I found out that he had passed. That was just me. You do what you.
Now,
Yes, there's
now
always going to be division.
well, I don't. I would ask you though, because like, okay, he's definitely one of the worst Batmen, and so is George Clooney. Terrible Batman.
Yeah,
But I really love George Clooney's Bruce Wayne. Now, where would you rank Adam West Bruce Wayne just on the pure, Playboy debonair Bruce Wayne esque?
I got to be honest. I don't even remember him playing the Bruce Wayne role. I mean, aside of it, I
Yeah.
just remember how pathetically train wrecked the Batman was, you know, and and because of that, the stink overshadowed everything else. It was just, and you'll get those arguments. It'll be like it was supposed to be campy, blah blah blah. Well, Batman is a serious character. Don't screw with Batman, and he did. He paid the price. So
Yeah, yeah.
tell
He
people
goes. He
better.
goes down. He goes down as the worst Batman. I mean,
In my opinion.
I'll go ahead and say at least he didn't have the bat nipples going against him.
Okay, yeah, there was that. I don't really understand why we had to have bat nipples, but at least in George Clooney's defense, George Clooney always just plays George Clooney, so it's
Right.
not like he was trying to be and Val Kilmer took a bit of a hit because he was trying to be Michael Keaton as as Batman and Bruce Wayne, and at least he was trying to keep it you know the way Michael Keaton and Tim Burton had recreated everything, and he
Right.
took
Right.
some heat for that. But then there's George Clooney who comes in. I'm just George Clooney. I'm just
Man, and,
yeah
and and like Burton's Batman was a wild card too. Like Burton's
yeah.
Batman had no problem blowing up a chemical factory, like none whatsoever.
No,
He says, no,
no.
it needs to be done.
Wasn't
Uh,
an environmentalist kind of guy.
yeah, yeah.
Or
Uh,
who knows? Maybe Wayne Enterprises had a way to clean that stuff up. We don't know. I mean,
right. He just wanted that location for his new plant, so he's like, no, I'm just gonna bomb it as Batman. We'll buy it up on the cheap. Win win. Man, they probably got a
exactly.
hell of a subsidy for that too.
Really.
Uh, so,
uh,
so I guess as a fabricator, let me ask you: do you ever have the ability or the chance to maybe, correct some of the mistakes some producer or director wants? Like prime example, if the director came to you and said, "Yeah, I want to put bat nipples on this suit," what are your thoughts? You think, big, small? I mean, like, would you have the ability to kind of like whisper some good counsel and be like, Supermen don't need nipples?
I mean, how big is the areola? I mean, what are we getting here? Are we talking like, saucer, size, or, quarter, what, you got to define it. And I think once you start asking questions like that, they start to realize, okay, yeah, that might have been stupid. But basically, you just do what you're told. I mean,
Yeah.
in the end, you have to divorce yourself from the artistic elements that would make it your own. Um, because it'll never actually be your own. It's always going to be somebody else's. So that's, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that's where like working more in like the indie scene gives you a little bit more freedom. You know what I mean? Because primarily working with these with these smaller productions, I mean you have to be a lot more creative in how to find solutions at
Yeah.
at a low cost.
In that respect, yeah. But you'll still run into the same, you know, exhausting, breakdown of a character. I was working on a project. and I'm not even going to say the title, but I was working on a project where we had just completed not only we had approval on the design, we had approval on the character sculpture, then we
Mhm.
went to mold. And usually when you go to mold, hey, there is no turning back. And then I was in the middle of pouring the silicone for this project. Like, I swear to God, I had just mixed A and B together and I was pouring it into the mold. And I get a phone
What?
call from a friend of mine who was a producer on the film. And he's like, we just changed directors and he has a whole different concept for the character. And I'm like, what the hell, I mean, this
Yeah,
is like,
yeah.
it's too late. It's like less than, we had something like 3 or 4 weeks to create and develop this character, and now we have less than a week to do all of that work again. And so I start talking to the director and we do 36 different drawings, and I'm like, I don't understand what you're looking for. He's like, I want a big toothy grin, but I don't want it to smile. And at that point I came unhinged, and I was like, throwing out like F bombs. What the hell does that mean? Explain to me how the hell you can
Big
have a big
toothy
toothy
grin.
grin without smiling. And I finally drew my last drawing, and whether it was fear or whatever, they took that particular concept and we ran with it. But oh my God, there's no escaping it. It doesn't matter
Yeah,
whether it's a
yeah, yeah.
Hollywood production or a little bitty production. You get art directors, and I use that in air quotes. You get art directors, you get directors and producers that think that because they've given themselves those titles, that now they're exhaustively brilliant in everything that they do. And their vision will come to life for the low, low price of $150. So,